What is up, YouTube? Kind of doing a little bit different video than we usually do on the channel. I'm gonna tell you why I ended up buying a new Ford over a new Chevy for our family daily driver. Technically I call it the wife's car because, you know, you got to give her the nice ride and you drive the old beater because she deserves the new ride to haul herself and the kids around. You don't want them broke down on the side of the road. So you guys know how it goes if you're married, and if you ain't married, just go ahead and prepare for that. You're going to be driving the beater, the wife and the kids going to be going around in the new truck. But anyways, I'm going to flip the camera around, jump into this video, and tell you why, after owning Chevrolet since I was actually technically 14, why I switched over to Ford. My grandfather actually retired from Chevrolet. Everybody in my family owns Chevrolet. We're a die-hard Chevy family. Honestly, I love the LS platform. I can't knock that motor. But after comparing the brand new trucks, Ford, Chevy, and Dodge were my three I was looking at, I went with the Ford. So let's flip the camera around and jump on in it. All right, so a little backstory. This green truck right here is a 03 Chevy Silverado HD with the 6.0 LS. It has been a great truck. I've owned this particular one for about 5 or 6 years now, and literally all I've ever had to do is change the oil, filter, you know, regular maintenance. I think I just replaced the brake pads, brake rotors. But other than that, I've never had to mess with the motor or engine as far as replacing parts on it. And I've probably put 60,000 miles on this truck since I've owned it. I've used it as a tow pig. It's been a great truck. I love these about 99 to 07. Maybe I'd buy up to a 2013 Chevy Silverado, but the 99 to 07s with the true Vortec LS motors are great trucks. You can't kill them. That's why I've driven these for years. I've had Tahoes, which is basically the same, just an SUV platform, but it's the same drivetrain. They're awesome trucks. But I ended up purchasing this Ford after comparing the new trucks because my other family members own brand new Chevy Silverados and Sierras. And there's a couple factors why I went with the Ford. The number one factor I went with the Ford is, obviously you can see from my videos, if you watch the channel, if you're not familiar with me, I'm a big guy. You know, I'm a thick boy, and I got wide shoulders. I fit great in this truck. I've sat in 2010 Silverado. I don't have as much shoulder room as I have in this truck. And then when you switch to like the 2014 and up Silverados, my shoulders are extremely cramped. And when I sit in the driver's seat and look to my left, like if you're about to pull out in the traffic, I look directly almost at that B pillar right there. In this F-150, I have so much room. Shoulder, hip, height, leg, you know, you name it. It feels like I'm sitting in a daggum recliner. And it's even got more room than this truck right here. When I sat in a Silverado, I felt so cramped in it. I didn't have good visibility. The whole cab of the interior just feels smaller. The Dodge was definitely better than the Silverado. The new Rams are very nice trucks. It took me months to decide between the Ram and this F-150. The reason, you know, number one reason, like I said, is just this F-150, we got 2 kids, maybe plan on having more, and this truck just has a ton of room on the interior. I mean, it's just, I'll open the door and show you, but as you can, I mean, you can just see the length of this window it's a very big window, and these trucks right here, they have, you know, a lot of window space too. If you go and look and sit in a new Silverado or Sierra, you'll understand what I'm saying. This B pillar right here, I feel like it comes to almost about right here. And you know, my head's right here. So when I turn to the left, I'm just looking right here. I'm looking at truck. I'm not looking out window. And that drove me nuts. And then when I'm sitting, you know, your shoulder and everything right here is in this general area. So my shoulder's butted up right against that B-pillar. And you almost feel like you got to kind of lean over a little bit the whole time you're driving. Now this truck, I got the seat. It's laid way back. It can actually go back a lot farther than this, but that's all the way back right there. Well, you can just tell there is a ton of room. And I like how it, you know, kind of slopes down right there. I rest my arm actually right here as a big guy. My wife, you know, she rests her arm down here on that arm rest. But as a big guy, it's very comfortable to rest your arm right there. You got plenty of visibility to look out your mirror. And then, you know, I'm 6 foot, and I don't even keep this seat all the way back. I ride about right here. And obviously, you know, I got this seat leaned back, and my shoulder, you know, in the Silverado, it'd be hitting this daggone B-pillar. It's so uncomfortable. In this truck, I don't come nowhere near hitting. I feel like I got plenty of room. The armrest is super nice, very comfortable. Lots of width, you know, so I'm not right up on top of my wife on road trips. You got plenty of storage. You got a big, nice 12-inch screen. And a ton, you know, I'm a big storage guy. I like to have a lot of places to put stuff. And Ford has just done a really excellent job at designing the interior on this truck. All right, now we'll jump into the second reason I switched from Chevy to Ford. There's a lot of reasons. I'm just going to kind of go over the main ones, but that is an all aluminum body. And I like to work on old trucks. I've always got a, you know, new old truck project in the shop. And over the years, working on old trucks, you run into fix and rust. Well, this Chevrolet right here, it's an 03. It's got 0 rust on it. It's been a Florida truck its whole life. That black truck over there is an old Ford. And I think they actually kind of used to galvanize, you know, some sort of galvanized process when they built those trucks. That truck has hardly any rust. It's been a Florida truck. I have a family member that bought I believe it's only a 2017, maybe a 2016, but I believe it was a 17 Chevy Silverado. And his fender well lips are already rusting on that truck. And this was about 2 years ago now. So you're talking about a couple-year-old truck already rusting out. And, you know, this truck obviously has fender flares, but right in there, he didn't have fender flares on his truck. He ended up putting fender flares on his truck to cover up the rust. But why is a brand new truck already rusting out after a couple years in Florida? You know, we're not driving on salt roads here, right? It's Florida. Trucks last a long time down here. So I just think the new Silverados use such cheap, thin sheet metal that they're just already rusting out. So if you want to hold on to a truck for 10 or so years or more, go ahead and expect some rust in a Chevrolet, I guess. This Ford, aluminum don't rust. It will corrode. Not a lot of vehicles have been made out of aluminum. This is pretty new technology. So I don't know what aluminum's going to look like 30, 40 years down the road. But it ain't never going to rust. And I'll tell you that, especially for you guys that live up north on the salt roads. I mean, hands down, I would be buying an aluminum vehicle, whether it be this F150 or an F250. But I never got to worry about this truck rusting out. I don't know if we're going to have corrosion issues and stuff down the road. You know, these trucks have been out for a decent amount of years with the aluminum body, and I haven't been hearing of any issues. So that's really the number 2 reason why I switched. It's just longevity of the truck. I will say the aluminum does, you know, kind of dent easier compared to like this old sheet metal that's thick. But the new sheet metal on the Chevy and Rams is much thinner than this truck right here, so they also dent. So, I mean, really, if you're getting a new truck, it's going to dent a lot easier than one of these old trucks. It's just the name of the game. They build stuff cheaper now. But third reason I switched is this is a 6.0 motor. This was the second biggest gas motor you could get in these trucks. I think you could get a 8.1, which is a monster motor. But it's pretty much all the 2500s, most of them just came with a 6.0 gas if you weren't getting a diesel. This truck made really good power at the time. This truck, we actually went with the 2.7 EcoBoost. Again, because we use it as our daily driver, and the wife, you know, has about an hour commute to work. And we live out in the country, so everywhere we drive, I mean, we're driving a good ways and we burn a lot of gas. This truck, we've been driving it. We put about 15,000 miles on it. And we're averaging 22.8 miles per gallon. I get about 10 in this. So 22 versus 10, it makes a huge difference. Now, obviously, the newer Silverados, you know, they get good gas mileage as well. But to me, the Ford was getting the best from what I did my research and actual real world reviews of people actually being honest on what they're getting. And the crazy thing is, this 2.7 has more horsepower and torque than this 6-liter V8. And it's because of those twin turbos that are on it and just the technology. This truck will haul butt. When I wasn't really honestly too keen on buying the 2.7. I just really was only buying it for the gas mileage. And I did another video on how it tows. It pulls that boat over there. That's a 21-foot offshore boat. It pulls that boat way better than this 6.0 does. This truck right there has a 10-speed transmission. That's part of the reason why I get such good gas mileage. This has, 4-speed transmission with overdrive. There is no comparison. No comparison. This truck will outpull that one like it's nothing. I mean, I can cruise at daggum 85 miles an hour pulling that boat. You can cruise in 10th gear, but I found that really about 8th gear is what it really likes if you're going to, pull that fast. This truck, she don't even feel like she wants to pull that boat doing about 65. 60 is kind of the sweet spot. And it just, I thought this truck pulled good until I pulled that boat with this truck, and man, what a difference. The technology of these new motors and transmissions is just unbelievable. So, I mean, for gas mileage and horsepower, you can't beat this new Ford. And these 2.7s have been out for a really long time. People don't have issues with them. They're an iron block compared to the bigger twin turbo V6. I think it's the 3.5 liter. It's got an aluminum block. In my opinion, cast iron is the way to go as far as, a block. It's going to last you forever and, very repairable. But the 2.7s, out of all the motors, I think actually have the least amount of issues. The reason I steered away from Chevrolet and their new V8 platforms, I wouldn't get any of their new motors other than a V8 and a Chevrolet. The 4.3 was a really good motor, but Chevrolet is doing away with that. I don't know why. That's such a dumb thing on their part, because the 4.3 is an excellent motor. I've had tons of 4.3s, and they've never let me down. It's basically just, a V8 with 2 cylinders cut off. But Chevy is having a lot of issues with the newer motors, with the the lifter issue, and the transmission. They're having a lot of issues with transmissions. I personally know 2 people with brand new Chevrolets with very low miles on their Chevrolets, and both of them lost transmissions. One was a transmission in a Tahoe, and one was a transmission in a Silverado. So, everybody I talk to that has a new Chevrolet seems to be having issues with something on it. Everybody I talk to with these Fords, they can't complain. So I don't know what Chevy's doing. After about, maybe about 2015, 2017, it seems like some stuff started changing with General Motors. and the excellent quality they were known for started going downhill, and it seems like Ford is coming to fill that gap. I mean, this is the #1 selling truck in America, the F-150, so that's got to tell you something right there. But trust me, guys, I'm not biased to Chevy, Ford, or Dodge. You know, I'm not one of these guys that's a diehard. I just want the best truck I can buy for my money and have it last me a long time, because these trucks are daggum, they cost as much as houses nowadays. So you want to buy something, you want it to last you, and you don't want to have to be sinking a bunch of money in it. We got a really good deal on this truck. We got it way below MSRP, so I knew if I didn't like it and wanted to resell it, I could probably even make some money back on it and put some money in my pocket. So, but like I said, you know, we've put 15,000 miles on this truck, took it on 2 road trips already, and it has been a great truck. Smoothest riding truck I've ever been in. I'd say the Dodge was probably the second smoothest truck. Maybe even the rear suspension on the Dodge is even softer and, you know, more comfortable than these Fords. So Dodge is really doing very good stuff with their new trucks. I don't know about the longevity of their trucks. I know people that have bought new ones, they loved it at first, and then, you know, after it gets a few years old, they were having some electrical issues. That's the #1 thing I hear from Dodge is kind of just interior and electrical issues. But, you know, they're really nice trucks, and I'm sure not everybody's having those issues. So I don't know. It's like the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. People that complain are, you know, you're always going to hear them over the people that aren't complaining. They're the people that complain are going to be the first ones to jump and say, oh yeah, this truck sucks, yada yada yada. So you really got to talk to a lot of people. And I was searching for honestly about 2.5 years looking for a new truck, and I'm very pleased with this F-150. So if you guys are considering buying a new truck, go check out an F-150. I mean, go to each lot and sit in the trucks. I highly recommend. Don't just go off specs and stuff. Actually go sit in the trucks. And if you got a big family or you're a big guy like me, let me tell you what, that F-150, F-250 platform is the way to go, man. There's so much room in that truck. Feels like a couch. But anyways, I hope this video helped you guys out. And thanks for watching. Drop a comment if you got any questions or want to know more. I'd be happy to go into a more in-depth review of this truck. I probably will do another video of just a more in-depth of this particular truck and what I like about it. And, you know, not so much a comparison video. But anyways, guys, hit that subscribe button. Help a brother out. Go check out my other videos. And, you know, I got that towing video. It's done pretty well. A lot of people like the information that I put in that. There's not a whole lot of videos out on these trucks yet. But anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.